Welcome to Paranormal Postmortem, True Tales of the Paranormal. I'm your host, or rather, your voice in the dark. Tonight, we explore one of the most terrifying and debated hauntings in British history, a case that brought investigators, skeptics, and the press to a modest council house in North London. What exactly happened at 284 Green Street in Enfield? This is the Enfield Poltergeist. It began, as these stories often do, with the children. The year was 1977. Peggy Hodgson, a single mother of 4, lived in a rented, semi-detached home in Enfield. One night, her daughters, 11-year-old Janet and 13-year-old Margaret, complained that their beds were shaking. Peggy was skeptical until she witnessed it herself. A chest of drawers began sliding across the floor. She pushed it back. It slid forward again. She later said, "It was as if someone didn't want us in that room." Strange noises soon followed. Knocking from inside the walls, toys flying through the air. A chair reportedly levitated and spun on its own. Even the police were called in. Constable Carolyn Heaps testified that she personally witnessed a chair move unassisted, and she wasn't the only one. The Daily Mirror sent photographers. One of them, Graham Morris, was struck by a flying Lego brick. The house and its story were about to explode into the public eye. But one person seemed to be at the center of it all, Janet. Her behavior became disturbing. She began speaking in a voice that sounded inhuman. She claimed to be Bill Wilkins, a man who had died in the house years earlier from a brain hemorrhage. The voice was deep, guttural, impossible for a child to sustain for long. Recordings captured hours of this strange speech. And eerier still, Janet knew details about Bill's death that no one had told her. Investigators began to wonder, was this a possession? 2 investigators from the Society for Psychical Research, Maurice Gross and Guy Lyon Playfair, moved into the house to observe. They witnessed hundreds of unexplained events, beds shaking, objects vanishing, apparitions, and that voice, always that voice, coming from Janet. They recorded hours of audio, documented eyewitness accounts, and saw objects move with no one near them. At times, Janet was even photographed mid-air, levitating, they claimed. Skeptics weren't so sure. They said Janet was a clever girl, projecting her voice and staging the photos. She was caught bending spoons and hiding a tape recorder. In one interview, she admitted, "Yes, we did fake a few things, just to see if they'd catch us." But even so, what about the police, the journalists, the investigators? Not all of it could have been faked, could it? By 1979, the activity seemed to fade. The Hodgsons moved on. Janet grew up, but the legacy of the Enfield Poltergeist haunted them for decades. In interviews later in life, Janet said, "It lived with us. It wanted us. I think it wanted me." She believed the spirit followed her for years. She'd wake up at night feeling watched, or worse, touched. So, what really happened in Enfield? Mass hysteria? A desperate cry for attention? A mischievous child pulling off the ultimate prank? Or did something truly paranormal happen behind those walls? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Or, if you've had a similar experience, we want to hear your story. If this episode gave you chills, don't forget to follow Paranormal Postmortem. Next week, we investigate the Roswell UFO crash and ask whether the government really did recover something, not of this world. Until then, keep your lights on and your mind open.